Hi, welcome to the Archaeology at Mound Park. I'm Mike Green, I'm the lead archaeologist for this project. We've been excavating the entire site for over a couple of months. This is the second phase of archaeology that we've been doing at Mound Park. Our first phase we've done multiple open days for already. Some of you have been to those and you might remember what we looked at before. So on this phase we've had a continuation of the Roman archaeology, also our Iron Age archaeology and our Bronze Age droveway and burnt mound systems. What we're looking at the moment is our second burnt mound in our second phase of works. As you can see behind me, we're currently excavating our second burnt mound. The team are currently working on looking into the well sequence that we have here. You can also see the cobbled surface and also the extent of the feature, which is shown by the yellow flags. The finds generally, what we've been getting on this excavation phase is quite similar to what we had previously on phase one. We've found animal bone, Roman pottery, prehistoric pottery, as well as flint tools. Within this feature behind me, we are finding mostly flint tools and Bronze Age pottery. There's a lot less material coming out of this burnt mound feature than the last one. We found about 25 flint tools out of it in comparison to the 300 which we found on the previous one. This shows that this is a smaller level of activity than our previous excavations. As you can see behind me, there's grid pegs with the yellow caps on. This is so we can excavate this feature in small squares. This helps us identify the finds that are coming out from each area, so we can tell if someone is producing something on a certain location of this feature. You will also see behind me that we are currently got a nice pink string running up. This is so we can look at the section and how the pit has actually filled in. This tells us information about the fill sequence, whether water has pushed this material in or whether people have dumped material into it in the past to fill it up. So let's go and have a look at what we've found today. Here we have a piece of struck flint. This is called a core. So we can see on this piece of flint where it's been struck in the Bronze Age to create sharp flint implements. This was then used as scraping tools and so forth. This is a very typical find of what we've been getting at Fornham, and struck flint will make up over 50% of the finds that we have on this site. So here you can see the cobbles. These were laid down and collected from around the area, and this is to stop people from slipping on the slippery clay when they're gathering the water from the wells below. Here we have one of the several small water holding troughs that are located around the side of the burnt mound. These are for storing the water and heating the water. Once the water is taken out of the main well complex and placed into here, it is then sealed in with the clay in the natural deposits around. That water is then heated by placing small stones and flint into it, which has been heated up by the bonfire. This is 100% excavated, so it would have previously been full of very charcoal rich black material. That material we placed in sample buckets so we can take it back, process it, and then see how much charcoal and heat altered flint is within that sample. We're now in the final stages of excavation of the burnt mound in Mound Park. As you can see behind me, we are now excavating 100% of the features that we've seen inside of the burnt mound. Here you can see the section of the main well located within the burnt mound. As you can see, there's multiple colours of fills coming down into this feature. We've had to excavate it in two parts due to the depth to make it safe working height. We initially excavated the first metre out of this feature and recorded the section. We've then removed that metre you can see in the distance and now carried on the section further down to find the base of the feature. So this is a section that we've excavated in the main well. We've still got a little bit of material to take out in this area here and this area here, and we can tell the difference between the material that we need to take out and the material that was dug into due to its colour and compaction. As you can see, this bit here that I'm standing on is a lot lighter in colour and it's far more compact and it's not holding any water. That tells us that this material hasn't been disturbed by man. So we've excavated a section through the fills of this feature itself as it's been cut into the ground. So we can see an initial fill down here. Got very large stones, a lot of chalk in it. These large stones are what we call tumble. They come in from the sides as weathering occurs. This is most likely lump fill here of slump, redeposited natural from the sides as it's weathered. Above that we have this thin deposit of silty sand, and this is most likely wind-blown deposit while it's been dry and it's blown in from the surrounding areas. Above that again you can see another chalk flecked fill here. Again, the same sort of process has occurred as the lower fill. Weathering of the sides, generally water in this case, would have then collapsed the sides in and weathered more into it. And then just above you can see what's left of a small dark band of material which was over 1 metre thick, and this is most likely a deliberate backfill when the feature is no longer being used and they're actually filling up the hole with rubbish. In this we had the most amount of finds, which is quite normal in archaeology when you get dump deposits. So we had a lot of animal bone, struck flint and some pottery out of this as well.